Hey guys, so today I'm going to be talking about the books I read in August for my August wrap up because I figured I should do that because it is now September 3rd. And that is crazy. Going back to school so soon. It's crazy. Okay. So the first two books I read this month I read during the Booktubeathon. The first book was The Wrath of the Dawn by Renee Ahdieh. Yep, I think I'm saying that wrong, probably. Anyway, this book disappointed me. This book, I gave a 3 out of 5 stars. It seems like everybody on BookTube loves this book who's read it, but I just didn't love it. It was okay, but yeah, the characters, didn't love them, didn't love the writing. The writing didn't really like that. The story was good, but it didn't, grasp me. If I hadn't have read this during Booktubeathon, it probably would have taken me much longer to finish, because Booktubeathon kind of pushed me to read it fairly quickly. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that. The next book I read which was also during Booktubeathon, was Rook by Sharon Cameron. And I gave this book, I think, a 4 out of 5 stars. I quite enjoyed it. The characters were really great. The storyline, I thought, was really good, pretty good, yeah. And it kept any, mysteries in this book kind of kept me guessing to the end. I didn't really know what the ending was going to be when I was reading it, which was nice because it wasn't predictable, and I really liked the setting that this was set in. This was kind of set in kind of future France, Paris, France, but the society is kind of they're not using technology. They've kind of regressed, I think is the word, and they've stopped using technology because that's believed to have led to the downfall of humanity. And yeah, so I very much enjoyed this book. I don't really have anything else to say about it. So yeah, we're gonna move on. The next book I read, I do not have with me because it was a library book, and that was Eleanor and Park by Rainbow Rowell. And this book, I really enjoyed. I enjoyed it so much that when I was done it, I went out and bought Fangirl, which I haven't started reading yet, but I will be reading it soon-ish, hopefully, maybe in September. Eleanor and Park, I just really loved it. It was like a dual point of view kind of book, so there was Eleanor's point of view and Park's point of view, which I thought was really cool and really well done. And the book, it just made me happy. I just loved it. I love the little romance. I'm not much of a romance person, but it was a good romance kind of going on between Eleanor and Park, and I thought it was cute and just kind of it's warm and fuzzy, and it was easy read, so I was very happy about it. I loved Eleanor. I loved Park. It was just a good book, and everybody loves Rainbow Rowell. It seems like everyone. I understand why now. She's really good writer. So anyway, the next book I read this month was also from the library, so I don't have it with me right now because I returned it, and that was Incarcerum, and this book was by Catherine Fisher. This book, I picked it up because I saw it at the library. I had never heard of this book before. I had no idea what it was about. This book, if you do not know, is a book. It's set in a world. It's futuristic. It's kind of like Rook, because the world that it's set in is kind of regressed, and they don't use technology anymore, and they have what's called protocol, where they have to dress a certain way and act a certain way and talk a certain way, and they're not allowed to use technology or anything like that, and everything kind of looks like it's from the 18th century or somewhere around that time, I think. Yeah, but then there's within this world, there's a prison where all of the people who were criminals are like also like mentally ill, I think, or like considered crazy, were all shoved into this prison at one point, and then it was sealed off. But and then they were just expected to live there, and the plan was that they would make their own society, and they would thrive, and that they would get better, and then they would all become like model citizens. But that didn't really work out, and so this prison's kind of like a really, really horrible place. And so the novel follows this guy Finn, who is in the prison, and also a girl, I forget her name, but she's the warden's daughter, and they end up being able to contact each other, and they end up talking, and it's about that. And yeah, I really enjoyed this book. 4 to 5 stars. Really liked it. Kind of took me a while to get into it because it was a bit confusing at first, especially because of the description in this book. I really enjoyed, but it was like very dark and gloomy. Like every time I was picturing my head, like was just like this prison is so dark, and like there's chains and like cells, and it's dirty and disgusting, and like, and so it was like very dark. I was picturing a very dark place throughout most of this book. But actually, I really enjoyed that. I thought it was super cool. And yeah, I would suggest reading this book. It was quite cool, and I can't wait to read the sequel, because there's a sequel to this book called Safik, which I'm probably going to read eventually. I don't know when, but yeah. The next book that I read, which isn't a book, but it's a graphic novel, was Saga by, who is this by? Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples. Yeah, so I heard about Saga for like the first time, like after Christmas, like January, February, sometime around then, because I remember when I was at school, some dude had this first book, and he was talking about it, and then I was like, oh, cool, that sounds interesting, and then I heard about it a bit on BookTube, and then I was eventually like, I'm going to pick that up. So I did. This is a good graphic novel. I really enjoyed it. I haven't really read many graphic novels, but I have, so far I've read this one, and I've also read the second one, which I read like the first day of September, so I'm not really going to put it in my August wrap-up, because it wasn't technically read in August, but yeah. This story, like, follows two people who are, like, from separate sides of this war, but then they fall in love, and they have a kid, which you can see right there. There's their kid, and it follows them, and they're kind of running from people who want to kill them, because they betrayed their sides, and they're not supposed to be together, because they're supposed to be enemies, and it's really good. I really enjoyed it. I really want to get the other 2 that are out right now, because I know a 5th one I think is coming out sometime this month. But yeah, 4.5 out of 5 stars. I'd give this book 4.5 out of 5 stars. Probably my favorite thing that I read this month. Definitely my favorite thing I read during August. But yeah, that is my wrap up. Hope you guys enjoyed. I trying to keep it short-ish, which is why I didn't really go into much detail about some of the books that I thought I've already talked about, and I've already given synopsises for, especially Rook and The Wrath of the Dawn, which I talked a lot about when I was doing Booktubeathon wrap-up and stuff like that. So anyway, if you guys want to see that, it's on my channel. Yeah, anyway, see you guys next time with another video, and hope you guys have an awesome day. Peace.